Now, Hebron today is not a Jewish area, as Robert can tell you. He was with me. It's an Arab area, and there's been a lot of Jews that have been sniped off there by Arab snipers. So now they have a corridor that is controlled by the Israeli military. And we went. I mean, that was one of the weirdest places we went to in all of the trip, because you really felt the heaviness of spiritual warfare going on. You just felt it all around you. And but they have to do this because a lot of there's a Jewish population, a small population that live here, and a lot of Jews will travel down here to pay honor to their forefathers at certain times, like when they died and different things like that. And to be able to do that, the military has to protect this corridor right down the city of Hebron, or the Arabs will just come in and start throwing rocks or shoot people off. So it was a little bit intimidating when we were there. It was going, so we were there on late Friday afternoon, and the Sabbath, the Shabbat, starts as soon as sun sets, and they usually start a little before that. We were told we could take pictures, but we had to hurry up, because as soon as Shabbat started, the Jews in there would kick us out, because they were going to have their Sabbath services on Friday night. So we were rushing in there. We were going so fast, I can't remember which tomb was what that we were taking. I don't know if you remembered or not and wrote it down.
I probably have it written down.
We have to look at that, because all I can tell you, that's one of them, one of the 6, but I'm not sure which one it is. And this was, I think, entry into another one, I guess, as best I can tell. We did. Was I taking the pictures or Daniel? I think Daniel was, so I don't remember taking them. This is inside one of them. Of course, the bones aren't really in there. We were told that deep down under the ground, that only certain privileged, like chief rabbis and people like that, are the only ones that will ever be allowed to go down, and they're way down below ground. These are just monuments. Now here's a little video of us walking by the building down there. And in a few moments, our friend Jan Karnas will give us a little commentary about Hebron today.
This street here be opened up to all Muslims that want to come here, because 2 blocks that way it's just a regular Muslim city. But the authorities know that if that happens, then you're going to end up with attacks. And I mean, if they didn't attack, well then it would work, but otherwise it doesn't. So now the world comes here and says, "Oh, you got to get the Jews out of here. This is ridiculous. Jews should not be in this Arab city." You know? But yet it was the capital of King David, for 7 years, and it's one of the most important cities in Judaism. And so, what do? I mean, the world says, "Well, get them out." It's too much of a bone of contention. Get the Jews out of here. Who needs Jews in the middle of the city? And if you look
now, what's interesting is that Joshua, like I mentioned, killed King Adonizedek. The soldiers that came out of the city of Jebus, or Jerusalem, or Shalem at that time, surrendered, but Joshua did not take the walled city, which became Jerusalem. And all through the time of the Judges, which is about 400 years, this remained the same. Now, here in Judges 1, this is interesting. It says, "And the children of Benjamin," the tribe of Benjamin, "did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabit Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day." That doesn't mean that the Benjamites actually dwelled within the city walls. They did not. But the surrounding area belonged to the tribe of Benjamin, and they dwelled right next to it. So here the blame is that the tribe of Benjamin did not drive the Jebusites out and take the city. But in Joshua it says, "As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah until Jerusalem until this day." Now whose fault is it? Benjamin or Judah? It's kind of weird, isn't it? Kind of strange. Well, we're going to come to that. But even in Judges, we got evidence from the Scripture that there's this stranger walking, and he does not go into Jebus, which is the name of the future Jerusalem, because they are foreigners and strangers, and he refused. He went. So we know that during the time of the judges that this was still a Canaanite city in the midst of the tribe of Judah and Benjamin. This is the border of Judah. It's laid out in Joshua. This was given to the tribe of Judah. In the red there, it says that they went up to En Rogel. Now, a little bit later, I'll tell you where En Rogel is. Just remember that name, if you will. And the border went up to the valley of the son of Hinnom. That's one of the valleys in Jerusalem today. So remember En Rogel, the valley of the son of Hinnom. I'll show you that. Onto the south side of the Jebusite, the same as Jerusalem. So in Joshua's day, the tribe of Judah was given a territory that went right to the south of what was Jebus, or future Jerusalem at that time, and their border was on the valley of the son of Hinnom and En Rogel. Okay? Now, in Benjamin, they were told specific that Jebusi, it's just different aspects of Hebrew, how they pronounce it and transliterate it, which is Jerusalem. Benjamin was actually given the city of Jebus. So now you see why both tribes are dealt with here, because right to the south of Jebus and surrounding was given to the tribe of Judah. They were right there, right next door. Jebus itself and the surrounding area to the north belonged to the tribe of Benjamin. And we're going to find out something interesting here, is that actually where the temple was built later on was on both tribes. Okay? And it becomes very significant. Because according to the Jewish Encyclopedia, Mount Moriah, Moriah in Hebrew, this is where Jebus is located on the base, the lower base of it. As Mount Moriah goes up to the north, this is where the future temple was built on and where the Temple Mount is today, where the Dome of the Rock is. It's Mount Moriah, but it goes, the Temple Mount and Mount Moriah goes all the way down to the south. It says that was allotted by Joshua to the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. The area of the mount, the Temple Mount, the halls, this has to do with the temple building itself and the courts, chambers of the courts, were assigned to Judah, but the vestibule, which is the porch of the temple, and I'll show you a picture in a moment, the Hekel, which is the holy place, and the Holy of Holies were built on the lot of Benjamin. However, a strip of land running into the Hekel, the holy place, on which the altar, the golden altar of incense is, belonged to Judah. According to another authority, Jerusalem was not divided among the tribes, and Mount Moriah became their common property. A common property that could possibly unite the tribes. Okay? Now, here's a picture of the temple, and this is the courtyard of the women. This is east, and this is west. This is the altar of sacrifice in the courtyard of the priests. This is the ulam, the porch, this little building right here that you go into the actual temple itself. The Hekel is right after the ulam, the porch. And in the Hekel, you have on the left side, you have the menorah. On the right side, you have, we usually call it the table of showbread. That's not really a good translation. The Hebrew means the bread of the faces. Okay? And to the center, right next to the veil that separates the holy place from the Holy of Holies, was the golden altar of incense. And then in the far back, behind the veil, you would have the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? Now, according to Jewish tradition, this all belonged to the tribe of Judah. This all belonged to the tribe of Benjamin. However, tradition states that a little strip of the land, you know, when they get out and they start to map out things, you know how things go from one corner. It's not a straight line always, and you even find that today in city maps or township maps. I mean, just weird things happen the way they're annexed and stuff over time. But according to Jewish tradition, that a little strip of land shot out from Judah and shot in here into the holy place, and the golden altar that sat right next to the curtain was actually sitting in the tribe of Judah. But the menorah and the table of showbread was in the tribe of Benjamin, and the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy of Holies, was in the tribe of Benjamin. So it didn't belong to Judah, and it didn't belong to Benjamin, so that becomes very significant.